Alright guys, welcome to our second round of Season 2. I ran through with the GR4s, the Nissan GTR. I did manage to get the pole position, which is pretty good. Felt pretty good about this one. It was a really good race overall. I really enjoyed racing with a bunch of guys that really pushed it to the limits, but raced very clean. So here's our final for our round 2. And there we are, pole position. And yeah, this race was very interesting. It was basically me and the two gentlemen behind me. We battled for the lead most of the entire race. Unfortunately, this WRX has a early exit, but me and this AMG, we battle it out at the end here. It's a very good race, a lot of fun, very, very competitive. It really gets your heart a pumping, I'll tell you what. But I'll let you enjoy some of it here as we get going. So after a few laps here, I finally do end up making a little bit of a mistake coming into this corner. Hit that, that wall there. That was tough. So that set me back a little bit. Got passed by the WRX. So he pulls into the lead here, and we stay pretty close most of the race. I do put the pressure on these guys since I was definitely pulling lap times a little bit better. 10 Years Gone was the guy that's behind me right now. He did chase me down pretty much the entire race, so he was really pushing hard, pushing that AMG to the max. So yeah, so I'll let you enjoy some over here. Alright, so as of right here, the WRX pushes off the track a little bit, gives me the opportunity to overtake him. So I'll pull out back in the lead again and continue to watch my butt as I try to maintain this lead. So we'll see if we can hold it off. I wanted to add here too, just in the racing terms, sitting in the pole position like most of this race or sitting out front It's nice because you don't have the traffic. You don't get into those like little skirmishes with people on corners. But the pressure to not mess up is high. Man, it is just intense. Your heart is just a pounding. Like, you don't want to slip a corner or hit a area wrong without making a mistake, because man, it seems like it costs you immediately. So when you're out front like this, it's fun. It's really cool. Feels good, but man, the pressure is just ever mounting. That's for sure. So these S curves here on the back side of the map, or track, I guess, they do give me the most problems. Man, I had a hard time just finding a good line through there. Sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. And then this hairpin up here was my Achilles heel in this race. My goodness, I could not find a good way to turn this corner without getting somebody right up on me or losing some time. I really struggled at this section. It was tough, but yeah, so you'll see he even overtook me there. He's just taking that corner so much better. A large part of the track I was performing really well at, and I was driving these corners a lot better than these guys, so I did tend to like get back up front here. But yeah, that hairpin and those S curves, man, they were really giving me a hard time. But as you can see here, we start pulling on the inside. I overtake him again, and about midway now through this race, these two guys seem to be the primary threat to me losing the front #1 spot. So I do everything I can to hold them off and still race very clean. I do have to admit the clean racing in this race was admirable. It's tough to get races like this where people race very clean and respectfully. Even as they like kind of overtake you, there's no like bumping or unnecessary contact. So it made a really fun race. But yeah, so you'll see he got me again on that corner. I'm starting to get a little bit fatigued because this is a long race. So it was really tough to just maintain this. On the controller, it's a lot of work. You do have tiny inputs to work with, and you can't make any mistakes. You will notice like other cars don't do much jerking around. It's most likely they're racing on a wheel, which does make it a lot easier in that aspect of things. Just for your input, you got a wider range. So, but yeah, it was tough to maintain that overall consistency each lap over lap. So yeah. So here again, I followed him into the wall. Just following the line. That's definitely something that happens. And then here the AMG does pull ahead of me. So I just got overtaken by both of them. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna lose my pole position. So we gotta start battling again, getting in the slipstreams and trying to gain my position back over these two. I didn't know I was performing better, but I was starting to slip up. Just like I said, the fatigue sets in a little bit and makes these a little bit harder to stay up front. But you'll see how we kind of finish off here and how we can overtake these next two, hopefully in the next 5 laps here. So as you've seen there, the AMG got a little waspy in those S-turns, and I happened to hit him pretty good on this lap. So I get the ability here to overtake him once again. We're both still chasing down this STI. The car's pretty quick too. But I knew I could get him just based on my times I was doing. I just needed to get a little bit more consistent and get back into the 145s, 144s. Seems like that could have kept me up front a little better. Now, right here, I started losing more time on him, and I was frustrated because I was like, oh man, we were out late, had all that fresh air, and now we're back here struggling. Thankfully, the gentleman behind me here in that SLS, the 10 years gone guy, he's a very respectful racer and definitely raced really clean all the way to the end. So at this point, I'm a good 4 seconds behind that STI. And all of a sudden, in this corner here, he just vanishes. I guess into the shadow realm, they would say. I'm not sure what happened there, but it looks like he DC'd, so I get my #1 spot back. Kind of by default. I got very lucky there, but I still have to hold off this AMG behind me, and he is pushing me hard. So I'll let you watch kind of the end here. These last few laps, I really do have to hold this guy off. He was an excellent racer and kept with me the entire time. So it's a good bumper-to-bumper battle. So we'll see how we finish it off. So at this point, I am managing to hold them back there. They both are right on me. Man, it was just a tight, intense battle the whole way through. There was a little bit of chippiness here this last lap or so, but a lot of it's just getting grouped up in them corners and you get a little bit of a bumper action. As long as you hold steady, though, usually you'll fine. But if you're turning hard and somebody does that, it will usually send you right off the track. But yeah, so I was just trying to maintain my overall consistency. That was like the biggest thing I was trying to tell myself, is just don't make a major mistake or else you're going to lose this spot real easy. So me and this guy will battle it out here for a little bit longer. I'll let you watch up to the end. It was excellent finish though. Alright, so here's where things start getting interesting. He does manage to get me. Snugs in around me on this corner, kind of bumped me a little bit. Not much, just a tad. It was no big deal. Acknowledges it with his blinker. Lets me, I kind of go around the outside. I wanted to see if I could overtake him this corner, but this corner is a little risky, so you don't want to get too crazy. So I kind of took it a little slower. He does end up pulling and falling back behind me. And then we get to this corner here on the last couple of laps to battle it out for the finish. Alright, here we are in the final lap. I was telling myself a lot here is just don't make a big mistake. play it safe and run the track the best you can. A little bit ago, though, you did see that the AMG did fall behind me. He pushed that car a little too hard, and I'm thinking he must have spun a little bit and fell back about 5-6 seconds here, and I just kind of maintained the consistency through the corners to finish off the race out front, not make any major mistakes. I knew that 5-second gap wouldn't be closable in that lap time, so it was yeah, it was kind of a feel-good moment. You know, you got that lead position, but still have to focus here to the finish, not make any mistakes. So let you watch the rest here. So there it is, got our victory, got pole position. That was a really nice run through on that one. It was the last entry of the day, so I didn't have an ability to try again. So finishing pole, or starting pole and finishing with number 1, that was a really good feeling, even though I only ran the event once. The only chance I had to run it, just due to some time constraints. But yeah, I really enjoyed this week. A lot of fun on that track. So yeah, 81,000. I still think they gotta up that. The payouts are pretty low for that many laps and that intensive a race, but yeah, so we got her done here. Sorry for the bump. That was so dirty. I'm guessing at the back of the pack it must have been pretty intense. GG Hinch, that guy, we raced hard, man. It was really, really crazy. It was really fun. Yeah, it was good time racing these guys. So I appreciate you guys watching this week of the Manufacturers Cup, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.